may have a lot of questions. So we're going to chat about strategies for measuring and analyzing the right social media metrics. Okay? So first I want to kind of just outline what I want to be chatting about. So one, we have to know the importance of social media. I feel like I don't need this.
You do.
Do I have to use this
Yes.
mic? Okay, yes, sir. The importance of social media marketing. I love you. Thank you. Yes, sir. Setting clear goals and objectives, identifying the right social media metrics, measuring engagement and interaction, tracking reach and impressions. We hear these terms all the time. Can somebody tell me, what does impressions mean? Okay, what were you saying?
I was going to see on her, like, who's looking at your things and making an impression on
Yeah.
social media, different practice.
Yes, so it's how many times your content was seen. So all of these metrics that you guys hear all the time, let's break them down and talk about what they really mean. So we're going to analyze conversion metrics. Now let me say this, just so you know, social media is a brand awareness tool. It is not a conversion tool unless you have strategies in place to make your content convert. Just because you're posting every day and you spend an hour to edit your reel and it gets 2,000 likes, so what? Like, how are you going to use that content to actually convert? And then we're going to talk about the tools and techniques for social media management. So I'm going to chat a little bit about myself. We are in the digital age. I launched on media in 2018. As a freelancer, like most of you, I was writing the captions on my own, writing the strategy, and I was tired. So I had a mentor that told me, girl, just shut down the kitchen, shut it down, figure out who you need on your team so you can outsource some of this. So now you're not a freelancer, you're an agency owner. So now we offer, and you can that go up? I don't know if that QR code is cut off. But you can scan that code to visit our website and just bookmark it, but we offer digital strategy, social media management, email marketing, graphic design, website, and SEO. So let's go ahead and dive in. I love this quote, vanity metrics make you feel good, but they don't offer guidance for what to do next. Does anybody just by a raise of hands feel that way? You see the likes, but then you're like, okay, what do I do with that? So that's what we're going to learn about today. I think the presentation needs to be slid up. Sorry. I don't know where my tech girl is. I don't know if the presentation can be slid because it's cut off. But this is A, B, and C. So by a show of hands, I want to just kind of see who's in the room. If you're like, I love social media, I get it, I get results, I like it, perfect. Let me see your hands. Of course, I knew Bree would raise her hand. You are rocking it on social, okay? Where are my B people? You're like, okay, I'm kind of in the middle. If it crashed tomorrow, I'll be all right. What'd you say? I'm B. You're B. You're right on the line. So where are my C people? You're like, if it crashed and burned today, I wouldn't lose 1 ounce of sleep. I would be just fine. Okay. And can I know, I'm putting you on the spot, why do you feel that way? Why is it kind of overwhelming to you? She said something that's key. She said people are so obsessed with it. And we talked about those vanity metrics. She's like, yeah, you get all of this engagement and you feel so good, but it's not converting. Let me say this, and I love that she brought that up. Don't get lost in the sauce and get lost on, oh, I'm getting all of this engagement and likes and it's not converting. If you have high engagement and it's not converting, just pause. I want you just to pause and figure out how you can use the numbers to actually tell you what to do. So, we're getting closer. Let's talk about what you need to do. Uh-oh. Okay. Gotcha. She said everybody's doing it, and there's a reason
Yeah.
why everybody's doing it. But we have to, somebody said, I don't remember what the context was. You said this, after this time, it's a business.
Yeah.
So I treat this like a business. On the Monday through Friday, yes, I'm talking about my business, but on the weekend, I'm outside and I'm having a good time on social media. You follow me, you know what I'm talking about. I have a good time. So, why measure social media metrics? Why do you think? This is open for discussion. Why do you think we need to track these numbers? See what's working and what's not working.
To find my audience.
Find your audience.
Stay on track with the focus of what you're trying to do.
Boom, stay on track, focus, because you're right. You could be scrolling and then I could be looking at videos of some things I want to buy for my dog, and I'm like, how did I get there? But yes, focus is the main thing. And so I always think of, I've been on this weight loss journey. I said I want to lose 40 pounds. But just imagine if I didn't have a scale. And I said, by the end of this summer, I want to lose 40 pounds. But if I'm not skipping on the scale to see where I am, how am I going to know how close I'm getting? At that point, I'm just guessing. So we want to eliminate the guess and just look at the data. So right now, I want to know, what social media metrics are you all tracking right now?
People like followers.
Any metrics, impressions, website clicks, Karen?
I want to see how many people share what I post.
You
So
wanna-
share for me is important.
Yes, I'm kind of obsessed with that metric too. So shares, that's a good indicator of if they want to come back and read it. Agree?
I look at saves.
Saves, that's another good one.
I would rather look at which types of posts do well, so I know which ones to create.
So the highest engaged posts.
I like to look at a specific post and, like attrition, like how many people's, or retention.
Okay.
You know, and how many people are staying in, and how that post, here, you can see unfollows, when
Mhm.
people unfollow from a post, so I look at that.
So when you're saying retention, you mean like if you post a video, you want to see if they're watching the whole video or just the first?
There are two, and so it's, sometimes if you post something, I'll like pause and say, is someone gonna be mad at me when I post this? And then I look and I see if they unfollowed me because of the post.
Oh, okay.
Because people, you know, it's funny, or if you get more follows from the post, so I like to look at that.
Yeah, I like that. And follow is a good indicator, Jazz.
I like to see if the audience, or my current followers, are people who don't follow me yet. See that lets me know if I'm reaching my audience or outside of my range.
Outside of your current look. Yeah, yeah, all of these things, one more.
I'd see who's going to my profile, the link, and then how that converts to my website. So who finds what.
Come on, website. So that, I was waiting on that. That is really the goal. That's the game plan. We want to get them off of social media, get their contact, and get them to do something. So this is like these 3 bullets at the bottom. We want to review our numbers monthly. We want to see what's working and what needs to change. I can promise you, I pinky swear, if you do these 3 things each month, you're going to get results. Check your numbers at the end of each month. What's working and what needs to change. Okay, so this is how social media is helping organizations to improve their strategies. So there are 4 key points. Content optimization. So when you analyze the right social media metrics such as engagement rates, click-through rates, and conversion rates, you can gain valuable insights into the type of content that resonates. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you're posting a reel every day at 7 o'clock. And you're tracking that over time, and you see, okay, over the past 30 days, these reels that I post at 7 a.m., they're getting me blank, this amount of engagement, right? Maybe you should start testing, because marketing is all about testing. Maybe try some 7 p.m., maybe noon. A lot of us are working remotely, so another high engagement time is between 12 and 2. We're scrolling, we might be working from home on our laptops, but this is a time when people are checking in. Sorry, I'm talking a little aggressively, so excuse me on the mic. But does that make sense? You have to test what type of content is working and what needs to change. I want to hear some success stories. Has anybody been doing something for a while and you tested it and you looked at the data and you changed your content strategy?
So I changed from posting like in the afternoon or evening to the morning.
Okay.
It feels like my mom or the people who are looking, I look at 6:30 going to look at my content and I see more engagement in that time.
Yeah. And yes, ma'am.
I did one, Roger started on TikTok for my doula business. So I did one at 11 at night, and it has already gotten 800. But then I did one yesterday in the morning, and that only got 13.
Okay.
And then I did another one last night, and that number is picking up. So I don't know, which month and day you up at late night. So that's where I was seeing a trend. Well, on TikTok, mine at night are getting more reviews than when I did the one in the morning. So that's one thing I have been watching, like when it's best to post.
Okay. And everybody's audience is different.
Yeah.
There is no right or wrong answer. I had to learn the hard way. I'm like, well, according to this article, it said that it doesn't matter. So, yes, listen to what other business owners are doing, but you gotta figure it out on your own. And so once we figure out what type of content works, we can get closer to that conversion metric. So, number 2, targeted audience segmentation. Somebody mentioned that they can learn about their audience by using social media, and this is key. So this type of metric provides data on audience demographics, interests, behaviors, and when you analyze this data, you can segment your audience. So let me tell you about the tech company that I manage their social media. They're called Extensions, and I want to break this down. Give me 2 minutes. So we have different personas, and raise your hand if you understand the different personas in your target audience, because you shouldn't speak to everybody the same. Bree, can you tell us your personas in your agency?
Yeah, so I have multiple. I have people who,
Tell us what you do first.
Hi everybody, I have a creative agency called Demi Rebel where we help brands and we equip them with freedom of expression for their content. And the different target audience segments that we have people who are interested in the creative industry first. So these are more like students, people who want to be photographers, videographers, people who want to be creative directors. And then we have our B2B brands that serve B2C in the hospitality, the beauty, and the health and wellness industry. And then lastly, we have nonprofits. So people who actually want to help us strive on creating like more D&I representation in the creative space, but then also on the flip side, people who want to sponsor and support us. So those are the 3 different targets that we talk to, one for funding, one for education, and then one for our actual revenue streams.
Perfect example. Thank you. Okay. So clearly, she couldn't talk to all those people the same. They don't care about the same things. So I'm now rolling into tech. So if I have 3 different personas for an app, and this app that we have, it helps creative agencies to manage their fonts. F-O-N-T-S, I'm a little country, fonts. So fonts is a main thing related to branding. So I have 3 different personas. I have the agency owner. They're the person that's actually going to swipe their card and subscribe to this platform, right? So they're going to be concerned with ROI, workflow, managing the team. And then I also have, as a second persona, someone in IT. So this is someone in the agency that is more concerned about what type of software does the team need to use. What is the cost of these softwares? I want to help them to learn and manage the software because the agency owner doesn't have time. And then I have the third persona. These are the actual graphic designers. They are actually working on the platform. So do you guys understand the 3 different personas for this app? So when I'm thinking of a strategy, the people that are actually working on the app, what platform, the graphic designers, what platform do you think they're going to be participating on? LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, what do you think? Instagram, exactly. Graphic designers, they want to see images. They're not going to be on LinkedIn trying to find apps that can help their team run more effectively. They don't care. They're coming to get a check, and they're working on projects, and they're rotating. But for example, that agency owner, what platform do you think they're going to be participating on?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. How many people on here are active on LinkedIn? Let me tell you something. Active, I'm saying at least posting 2 or 3 times a week. I see you on there. Get on LinkedIn. If you were B2B, stop playing. It's okay. Listen, so we got to think of the decision makers that are not scrolling. They are on LinkedIn. Post early in the morning. I've tested this. After 2 o'clock, they're done. So you want to post between 6 a.m. and probably 9 a.m. And think of it, a lot of them are on the West Coast too, so they're 2 hours behind.
Now, when it comes to LinkedIn, what would we be posting? That's what I have a problem with, because
What is your business?
I do, we do like concept and campaigns for businesses, so meaning like someone comes to us, they have an idea, but we're gonna help them create, like get it together. You know, they may have an
Okay.
idea, but they can't bring it to life, so me and my team bring it to life all the way from a creative standpoint.
Let's chat offline because I can't do this in 30 seconds. But I think you need to think about, like the example I gave about the app. Who is the decision maker? The person swiping the card, not maybe the teammates that are working on the project, the actual decision maker. So be more strategic, and we're looking at high level content, not the fun frou-frou stuff that we put on IG.
So are you posting, is it, I'm still, like, I signed up but haven't did anything. So are you posting, like, same pictures, or like, I guess what I'm saying, like, I'm still new to this, so some things I just see guys, and I'm like, oh, man, weekend, I'm like, oh, okay, hold on. So what are you, like, actually posting?
So I consider this, I said like the frou-frou, and I just made no words, but it's the frou-frou stuff on IG, the fun pictures, that does not resonate. It's not video content either. It's articles, it's things that leadership would be interested in. If you have a blog, you can leverage that. Statistics, numbers. Does that make sense? All right, so I mentioned earlier, marketing is all about testing. If you're not testing data, you're just wasting time. So this is a small example of a split test related to the app example that I gave. So company ABC, they ran a split test promoting their app to a group of users on social media. The ads were very similar, but the only difference was there was a call to action button and it was a different color, okay? So how a split test works, I don't know why that's so hard for me to say. Company ABC, they created 2 versions and they're gonna track which one is getting the most clicks. So the color of a button, this is just an example, but you guys can test things like maybe a header. We're trying to reach those decision makers on LinkedIn. Do the exact same post, but just change the heading. Now, why do you think that this is important? What are we trying to accomplish in testing messages that are almost the same?
What would catch their eye quicker? What would make them want to scroll a little bit more time?
Yeah, she's basically testing what's interesting to them. A lot of times we guess, stop guessing, y'all. I guess so much. I'm gonna use the lipstick for an example. The first round, I just guessed. I'm like, everybody loves red. Everybody wears lipstick. How many people in here only wear lip gloss? Raise your hand. Exactly. So I'm like, who doesn't wear lipstick? No, that's my thought process. But we have to do these type of split tests to figure out what does our audience really want to see. Has anybody done a split test and had any success that they would want to share? Great.
So I did 2
speak up for me a little bit.
I did 2 posts the very same. I did one with, behind the scenes with the voiceover, and then I did one where I actually spoke. The one where I spoke did way more engagement than the one where I just did the voiceover on. And from that, I learned that my audience actually wants to hear my knowledge authentically versus just putting it over a bunch of videos and hearing me behind the scenes.
I love that.
On camera, meaning you were on.
Don't be scared of your voice. Use your voice, especially for these Instagram reels. Cause like she said, they want to hear that from you. Competitive analysis, I love this. So, how many people in here are, and I hate when people say, oh, I don't have any competitors online. Yeah. Who's checking out their competition? Always. I love it. What'd you say?
I do all the time.
Every day?
Yeah, just to see, not to like, fight or anything, just to
Yeah.
see where they are. A lot of people that I follow on social media are people that started their business successful and things like that, so I'm always seeing what they do.
Absolutely. Why do we have to reinvent you? Say what?
They be watching you too.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
They watching too, so.
Oh yeah, we're always on stage, and that's what social media is. You're on stage, so give them something to look at, perform a little bit. So always check out what your competition is doing, because why should we reinvent the wheel? We don't have to. And I like what you said. It's not to bite off of what anybody else is doing, but maybe you can check out what they're doing and tweak it a little bit.
Do you compare it locally or just anybody? Like,
I do local and national. I want to see what the people that are playing on the same playing field are doing. And then, I look at Fenty every day for the cosmetic line. Like, it's working. Yes, she has $1 million ad budget, so I can't really compare myself to her. But I can still check out some strategies that are working. So let's look at things related to follower growth, engagement. Look at their reels. What reels are performing the best on their page? Why not do more of that? What reels did not do so well? And then number 4, customer relationship. So in the tech industry, I know that Twitter, that's where everybody goes when they have a customer service issue. And I'm like, call the support line. But a lot of people, as you know, they use social media as, if they need something and they feel like they want to get a response quickly, they're going to put you on the spot. And sometimes you don't have a choice. You need to respond ASAP. So I do believe that you can use this platform to just show other people, I have my customers in mind, I respond quickly, we take care of them, and our customers are satisfied. And also give yourself a little grace, because you're always going to get those people that just want to be negative. You know what I'm saying? So give yourself grace. You can't please everybody, but just make sure you're doing what you can.
Wait. What is a sentiment score?
So that's kind of like you're looking at your overall customer service score. So how quickly you're responding, what type of comments are they leaving on your profile? Is it more positive? Is it questions? Are they giving you feedback? So you're looking at all of the feedback that they're giving you on social and actually doing something about it. That's all I mean. So I have a question for you guys. What are your current social media goals? Like, if you were meeting with your team and you're like, okay, for the next quarter, here are some goals that I have. I would love to hear from at least 3 of you. Yes.
Consistency, that's been awful for me, terrible, don't go to my social media. Consistency, that's like my number 1 goal.
Okay. Become more consistent.
I'm not afraid to post reels.
More reels.
I can't see with reels, like I'm a doula, so it's like, I'm still kind of getting out of the shell, afraid to post actually when I'm in the birth or postpartum and talk about it, so that's something I'm working on now, just post more reels.
Okay. Sierra.
My current social media goal is to get more engaged online with people who actually want to do what I'm doing, so I can get like additional revenue for myself. That way I can try to report things ahead of time, post something, and you make any money while I'm actually also working in my physical products and services.
So more engagement, more likes, clicks, shares, saves. Dominique?
4 bookings per month, with my target market for consultations.
Okay, I love how specific that was. Let's talk about I love all the goals, but let's get like way more specific. So these are just examples, and then I have some more. So Facebook, drive website traffic and conversion. So when you are that specific, then you work backwards and say, how can I get more website traffic and conversions? How do you get that, Dominique?
On LinkedIn, I've been getting the bookings from posting different thought leadership. Like, here's what I've seen in the market, then people are like, I want to learn more, like how can we improve what we do in our company for engagement? So that comes from, how did you hear about me? LinkedIn, when you posted that and you shared your thoughts on that article, I didn't think of that. Your perspective was different, we want to learn more.
So she's using an article strategy, thought leadership, connecting with the decision makers, and then I'm guessing your call to action is what?
The call to action is connect with me, and I even say, just message me right here on LinkedIn, or here's my email, and I put that in the comments, because I'm learning my impressions are higher when I put links or any emails or anything in the comments versus the post.
Yeah. Instagram, Sierra said increase user engagement. How do we do that? Somebody said post more, but how do we increase user engagement? That's more likes, comments, shares, and clicks.
Ask a question.
Ask questions. Consistency.
Are you guys actually communicating with your audience in the, like they ask a question, are you consistently communicating with them? Does that help with conversion as well?
You mean like if they leave a comment, you respond? Oh, absolutely, respond to everyone. And that is a time sucker. It is. You know what I do at the end of the day? Because I type all day and my fingers are cramping and I'm done. Around 4 or 5, I go back, I look at the comments, and then I just knock them all out like that. I'm not going back in between my day to do that. That's just counterproductive. Twitter, establish thought leadership and industry influence. So how do we do that? Dominique mentioned some of this. She's doing it on LinkedIn. She's sharing those articles that they want to hear about. She's hitting on those pain points. Here are some more very specific goals. So y'all know this. You've heard this since probably middle school. SMART goals. We can't forget some of these things that we've learned about. We've got to remember to use them. So here's an example. I want to achieve 50 new subscribers in the first month with my new product online. It's a monthly subscription box combining flowers and plants with DIY craft projects such as seasonal wreaths. Based on the trend and the number of subscribers we currently have, we believe we can achieve 50 subscribers. So when you're communicating with your team, when you get this specific, they understand the why. Here's another one. I want to increase website conversions by 25%. So in order to get to that 25%, you have to know what your current number is, right? So I want to do this within the next quarter for our online fashion retail store by optimizing the checkout process and implementing targeted promotional campaigns. Does everybody understand what I mean when I say a campaign? This is not a, oh, I woke up today and I think I want to post a quote. That's not a campaign. So a campaign is more like a strategy. You're mapping out everything that's happening, what marketing tactics are going to be used, what assets am I using a blog? Are we leveraging this blog? How many people in here have a blog? This is working smarter, and if you're not using AI, I know this is not a topic, I wish it could have been, but yes, you can use tools like that to write a blog. With that blog, you can have your entire content strategy mapped out. You don't have to create new content. The blog is, of course, hitting on a pain point. You can use some of that copy for your captions. You can use some of the same images for the article as well as social. Like all of these things should be working together. And then maybe you have a lead magnet at the end of your blog. Because the goal is to get their contact information so that you can start to nurture them. So maybe at the end of this blog, you have, if you want to learn more, give me your email address so that I can continue to nurture you and provide more information. I think a blog is an easy asset that we can use that we're just not thinking about. And then I have one more. I want to reduce customer churn. So that means these are the people that are dropping off from some type of membership. So let's say you want to reduce your customer churn rate by 15% in the next 6 months by enhancing customer engagement, implementing proactive customer support strategies, and introducing a customer loyalty program. Any questions about how a SMART goal works and how specific we need to get? All right, I have another question for you guys. So which social media metric do you believe are the most relevant to your organization's goals? Most relevant. Likes, clicks, shares, impressions, reach, website clicks.
Website clicks.
Why do you say website clicks?
Because if they're going to my website, they're going to look to see how to book an appointment. And then if I know people are thinking about making an appointment, what do I need to do to get them to actually make one?
Exactly. Anything else? What you got? Website clicks. So this should definitely be something that I wouldn't even wait a month to track this. I would be tracking my website clicks at least by the end of each week. Because she said it, this is telling me who's actually interested. I appreciate my aunties and my uncles and my cousins and my old high school friends liking it, but y'all are not my clients. So I want to see who's actually clicking on the website. All right. So for the next 5 minutes, we're going to talk about 15 different metrics that you guys can use. All right, so reach. This is the number of unique users who have a particular social media post or advertisement. So who's actually seeing it? This indicates the potential audience size. Now, if you look right under that, impressions. I see a lot of people get these two mixed up. These are different. So impressions is the total number of times a post or advertisement has been displayed, including multiple views. So if somebody watched that same reel 25 times, that's going to show up in your impression number. So the difference is, the reach is the number of people, impressions is the number of times that the actual content has been viewed. Make sense? Engagement, this is the level of user interaction with the post. So this is the vanity metrics that we all look at. Likes, shares, comments, saves, but honestly, someone said it earlier, the two that I care about the most is shares and saves. I want to see you share my content. When somebody shares your content, what is that saying? What does that mean?
They think it's important enough to share with other people.
Yeah, they think it's important enough to share. So,
Come back.
and what?
Come back.
And to come back to.
And I think it also exposes you to a different audience
Boom.
that may not be following you directly. So
I love that. When I see shares, I'm like, thank you. You just introduced me to your audience. And I love the shares in the stories. I think more people are seeing the stories now than what's happening on your timeline. So anytime I get a share, I do hate that you cannot see who shared it. That's the only thing. I don't know if that's going to change one day, probably not. But that still is a good indicator that they're liking what you're sharing. All right, click-through rate. So this formula is impressions. We talked about what that means, divided by clicks. So this is the percentage of users who click on a specific link or call to action that you have. Now, I said earlier that social media is not a conversion rate unless you have a game plan. So when you have a game plan, you can track conversions. It is going to be conversions. Let's say you got, I don't know if this is good, 25 bookings in 1 month. So you're going to take that and you're going to divide that by your website clicks. That's gonna give you a good indicator of your conversion rate, and you wanna be within that 20 to 30%. Follower growth, I think you guys can, you have that embedded into your platforms, or if you're using a scheduler tool, it's gonna give you that number, but follower growth is also a good indicator of how you're doing. And I don't get too caught up in the followers because I'm leveraging email marketing. I know Danielle is gonna talk about that later, but follower growth is still something that you want to track, because a lot of times we don't have the right followers following us currently, and we need to detox them out. So as we're detoxing them, we want to attract some new blood, right? So Bree asked about this. So sentiment. So this is the analysis of user comments, mentions, or feedback to determine your overall score. So when you're looking at this, you want to gauge what do they perceive when they look at my brand on social media? And most of the time, the comments that they leave is going to give you that answer. Share of voice. So this is the percentage of social media conversions or mentions related to a specific brand, product, or industry compared to its competitors. So when I'm comparing my brand, Sister Tribe, and Fenty, I'm looking at what are other people saying about them, and how can I relate that to the brand that we have. Customer lifetime value. So I love this one, and this is something that we need to really focus on. The current clients that you're getting from social media, how long do they stay? Do they leave within their first contract? Do they leave after a year? You need to really pay attention to the type of content that I'm sharing, what type of customers is it attracting, and what's their lifetime? So I just say this, startups with social media management, they're probably not going to last as long as some of the corporate contracts that I have. Why do you think that is? Moolah, money, contracts, they have more money to play with, so they can lock me in for a longer contract. And life is expensive now. So I know if everybody's rent and all this is going up, marketing may be something that they cut out first. So I have to think about my messaging and who I'm attracting. Audience demographics. I think you guys know within your platform, you can look at these and see who's following me, who's interacting. Is it more male, more female, what age, what location? Response time is something else that you want to look at. And this is more with Facebook and Twitter, where you can really track that time frame, because people look at that. If they left a comment and then they can see that you responded back a week later, that's just not something that you would want people to see. How much time do I have? 9 minutes, but question. 9 minutes, got it. Thank ya. And then social media advertisement, who's running ads? Yes. And it isn't, you don't have to blow the bank. I'm not saying 10,000, 5,000. Just boost some of your posts. It makes a big difference. You have to pay to play. So when you want to figure out this metric, how much money am I spending? So how much money did I spend on ads this month, and what did I get from that? I encourage you, if you're not using ads, a nice number to stick to, start with $100 a month. $100 a month. And if you posting 3 or 4 times a week, boost the post and just make $20 on there for 3 days. And I can assure you, if you put in the right demographics, it's going to bring more people to your page. And then I'll go through these quickly. Social media referral traffic, that's something, whenever somebody books a call, one of the first things I ask them is, how did you hear about me? I want to know that. So if it was on LinkedIn, I may say, well, what post was it? So now I know I need to do more of that type of content. Engagement rate. So again, this is tracking comments, likes, clicks, shares. You want to look at that. You can create some type of strategy to figure out, how do I get more of this? Which post got the most engagement? I need to do more of that. And then social media mentions as well. I saw y'all taking pictures. Don't worry, just scan that code. And then it is going to give you all 15 of those metrics, so you can have it on a lovely PDF. Got it? I'm gonna skip that. So here are some tips on how you can measure and analyze your engagement metrics more effectively. Yes, use the metrics that are already embedded on the app. So these are your native platform insights. You also have UTMs. So we talked about websites. A UTM, and you can look this up afterwards, just because you're looking at the metrics from your website, you still don't know what happens after that. If you use a UTM, so there's a such thing called a UTM tracking link, you add your website, and this is something done through Google Analytics. It's going to give you more information about your website traffic. So also you want to compare reach and impressions to audience size. So you want to look at your reach and impressions, and then you want to see if I have 10,000 followers and this amount of people are interacting, is that percentage pretty high or low? So we want to always increase that percentage. And then you also always want to cross-reference with website analytics. If you're not looking at the data on your website, everything that you're doing on social media is irrelevant. Because we want to convert, right? We don't care about getting all of these likes. We want to turn it into actual leads and then actual customers. So I want to know from you guys, how are you currently measuring your reach and impressions? Are you just looking at it through a scheduling platform, or are you looking at it on the platform itself? You're looking at your analytics on your platform itself. Anybody else using any other tools?
Business is a platform we use, and then, I build a lot of my websites through GoDaddy. I use their platform for analytics.
Okay.
Go high level.
What is it called?
Go high level.
Go high level.
It's cheaper than HubSpot.
Okay.
And also Google Analytics.
Someone mentioned, I think it was Jasmine, consistency. Get with a scheduling platform. Doing this manually, it's not gonna work. It eats up so much time. So I love the scheduling platforms like Buffer, Later, Metricool, Hootsuite. I mean, there's thousands. I love to use these, one, because I can just schedule my content weeks out. But also, it's going to give you all of the metrics in one place. So you don't have to search around for these numbers. Does that make sense?
That includes the website, Google.
Mm-hmm. Later, it just got so expensive. I do like Later. Metricool is what we use now. You got the dinosaurs like Buffer, Hootsuite, that are pretty reasonable for startups. So I probably have like 3 minutes. Y'all, when I practiced this was just right in the hour. I apologize. I do want to hit on these because we talked about reach and impressions. We talked about setting clear goals. So is anyone unclear on how to use the SMART acronym to set clear goals now? And do you understand the importance of being specific? So defining key metrics, I asked a few seconds ago, what metrics are you tracking today, this week, by the end of the month? Figure out what metrics do I want to track and why. Because there are 15, you guys got 15. All 15 of those are not going to be relevant, but I would stick to 3. What 3 metrics can you start to track? And what type of tools can I use? We talked about the scheduling tools that we can use to monitor these. And then we also want to monitor and analyze the trends. I didn't mention this before, but this is something else that we can leverage. What is hot right now? Have you ever got just caught in the sauce of trying to find a audio to go with your reel? You use an app to just tell you. But I still even when I have the training, I still kind of get caught up. Maybe that's just me. But it's so easy to get caught up trying to find something, even using a tool that has all the training. So maybe map out some time, and I tell myself after 2 minutes, I'm done. I'm gonna go ahead and use one of these sounds and keep it moving, because you can get lost. It could take you almost 2 hours to edit a reel. So use these tools, make sure you're managing your time. And then the last thing I wanna talk about is conversion. So click-through rate. You guys have that formula from the first QR code. So you can always have that, figure out what that number is. Make sure it's converting. And I do wanna end with the last few minutes. Does everybody understand how a lead magnet helps you to get people from social media?
No.
Well, some,
What do you mean with, I don't know if I understand the term lead magnet?
so it's a freebie.
Gotcha.
A freebie, so people use them interchangeably, but yes, it's a freebie. So for example, I'm launching email services. One of my freebies is subscribe to receive the top 10 subject lines for coaches, or something that my audience would need. Has anybody had success with a freebie that they would like to share? What?
You just did it right here. You got our email.
I did, I did. You got it, so yes, I got your email address, because you guys are gonna get a second email with all of the analytics. But has anybody here done a freebie that was successful?
I didn't even think about it as a lead magnet, but I do a free monthly webinar based on the topic of my newsletter I send out every month. So if people wanna know more about the newsletter, like, you can join us on the third Saturday. Y'all can join us on the third Saturday of the month
Come on.
and learn about skin, hair, and nails.
Yeah, everybody here needs some type of freebie. I use the freebie tool through Flowdesk. This is the email marketing platform that I use. So I'm gonna create a list, and let's say you guys are gonna be on the list. So I have the summit, it's already a list. So when you subscribe, you drop into that list, and then you're gonna get the freebie of the analytics. But I encourage you to think of, what does my audience need? What have they been telling me that I need to give? And I can offer that to them. It doesn't need to be something that's gonna blow the bank. This needs to be easy and fast. Does that make sense? Talk about that. Surveys and polls is another way to get information. It's a free tool. So you wanna figure out, we talked about that split test, what your audience needs. Create some type of poll. It's built into the business platform, and let people vote and just give you that answer. There's no reason to guess. All right, if you did not get that freebie, you have another opportunity to go ahead and scan that code. And then I'm gonna open the floor up to questions.
Can you talk about, frequency when it comes to, I mean, I know like Twitter, you like all day, right? But like, you were saying 2 to 3 times a week on LinkedIn, and then, what about Facebook?
I think, again, there's no magic number, but I think everybody, if you really wanna get serious, post a minimum of 3 times a week. 3 times a week. Some people are like, oh, post every day and twice a day. Unless you are outsourcing this to an agency, which you could, well, we'd love to do that for you. And you can scan that code to get more information. But if you're doing this on your own right now, give them three times a week.
Sorry, I messed this up. So, I found that my biggest conversion has been happening on Google, actually, since I started a Google business page, which, years ago, if you didn't have a physical location, you could do that, which I don't. So, anywho, I have that now, and my customers are literally coming from Google now, so I just wanted to know if you could share anything that would mix, like Google with social media or anything like that, number of views or videos.
Yeah, and did you set this up yourself, or did you have someone set this
I
up?
set it up.
And it's so easy, guys. You don't have to be too tech savvy, it's simple. And I'm glad she mentioned this. So yes, get on Google, and So I feel like Google is like the cousin of social media. You need all of this, but it just helps. And so now, the more you post on social media, sometimes when someone just Google Garth Media, it will even pull up some of those posts. So they work together. It doesn't hurt. And then on top of that, you got email marketing that Danielle is gonna talk about. You got those blogs that we discussed. So many moving parts. I want y'all to understand that social media is basically showing what you've been working on behind the scenes. I picture it as, now I'm performing, I'm on stage. This is what we've been working on, and I wanna push you to my website so that you can become an actual client and not an advocate. Any other questions?
Is there a platform that measures all of that in one? Like click-through rate, sentiment rate, on top of social media analytics and all that? Or do you have to calculate all that in the brain?
Good question. Nobody wants to calculate all that. But the tools that I mentioned, Later, Buffer, they have those built in.
Okay.
All in one place. Any other questions? Okay, I appreciate your time. Thank you, guys.
All right, ladies, so to break it up, we're going to do, is that okay, Danielle, please? Okay, so we're gonna do some giveaways.